Movies Hugh Jackman was almost in, but wasn't. Was actually offered Iron Man in 2008. He was offered Mr. Fantastic in Fantastic Four in 2005, believe it or not. And Cats. This one is a tricky one because Hugh Jackman has remained very tight-lipped on the whole thing, and it's not even clear which role he turned down. But an interviewer actually got him to admit he was offered a role in Cats because he did work with Tom Hooper on Les Miserables. He was supposedly offered something in Cats. No one knows what role, but he says he turned it down for scheduling conflicts. But we're fairly certain he was offered something in Cats, but he'll never tell us which one. I'm assuming, at the very least, it was one of the Cats. He was actually offered Daredevil, the Ben Affleck Daredevil, but was not cast because he's not Ben Affleck. Almost cast in Ang Lee's The Hulk in 2003, but another Aussie, Eric Bana, got that instead. He was originally cast as George Reeves in Hollywoodland, but had to drop out for some reason, and the role was eventually played by Ben Affleck. Was offered Jonathan Kent in Bryan Singer's Superman Returns, The Punisher, which he turned down also because he was shooting Van Helsing. I don't know why they offer him so many comic book movies, but I think he's sort of in one. Why would you keep doing it? Was considered for Harvey Dent / Two-Face in The Dark Knight. That part went to Aaron Eckhart instead. Was offered the role of Captain William Gordon in Mangle Pandy. I've never heard of this movie, but apparently he was offered it, but he turned it down. According to concept art, and because he knows Neil Blomkamp, Hugh Jackman would have been at least offered or tried to have been cast in Neil Blomkamp's alternative sequel to Alien. Chicago. Hugh Jackman admitted he regretted turning this down. I'm assuming he was going to be the Richard Gere role, not sure, but he considered it one of the biggest mistakes of his career actually, but he also feels he was kind of too young to do that part. But seeing the success of that film actually had him second guessing his choices after that. He actually wants to produce and star in a film based on the life of Bill Bixby, who played the Incredible Hulk on TV. That doesn't sound like a thing he was almost cast in, but I just thought it was a cool project, and it sounds like a cool movie that he would be good in, so I hope he gets to do it at some point. Was considered for the Huntsman in Snow White and the Huntsman, but he had to turn it down, so the role went to Chris Hemsworth. Was offered the Robert Langdon role in The Da Vinci Code, but passed, and that went to Tom Hanks. I think he dodged a bullet there. Was actually offered James Bond in Casino Royale, but he chose to reprise his role of Wolverine in X-Men 2. The major reason he wouldn't play James Bond is because he would have no creative control over the franchise's direction, and this kind of turned him off, and he kind of wanted an edgier Bond, which in 2003, if the timing's right, means he would not have gotten to play an edgier Bond, so I think that sort of worked out for everybody in that case. Phantom of the Opera. He was too busy shooting Van Helsing, so he did not get to be in that musical. Sahara. According to Paramount executives during a lawsuit, he was too busy on Broadway at the time, and the production refused to wait for him, so he wasn't in Sahara, if you remember that.